Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm super excited to introduce you guys to my 2024 planner. This is the main squeeze. You will be seeing this one in any monthly setups, also over on Instagram. And there is a part 1 to this. There are some bullet journal related spreads in my 2024 yearly spread setup. I'll link that above and down below for you, but let's talk about this planner. First of all, it is in a cover by Moterm, and this is my first time using a Moterm cover. Setting it up has been really fun, and I've really enjoyed the minimal texture. This is a B6 plus size. I was not aware of that when I got it, but it seems to be fine for this B6 planner. There are some pockets over here as well as in the back. Right now, I just have some decorative things in here, some Polaroids, some stickers, but I do plan on using it more functionally for more functional purposes as the year starts and continues. And then also, I really love this little secretary pocket back here for some extra documents, maybe even some supplies and stickers can go back there. But this cover also has a pen loop, and this does fit some of my larger fountain pens as well, which is nice. It also has 2 bookmarks, which I am using right now. So we have 2 bookmarks here, and it also has a snap closure with 2 closure points. So in case we bulk out a little bit, it should be able to do that and still shut. So that is lovely. The planner itself is a Papertess Designs B6 full year planner. And to help me out with all of the planner specs, I got some inspiration from a YouTube/Instagram buddy, Jasmine, and she's actually using this planner this year as well. But back here, I have a planner specs page and a section of some pen samples and just things that I feel like I'm gonna use most often in this planner. So the size of this is a B6, as I said before. The grid space is 4 millimeters by 3.9 millimeters, so not quite a square and a little more wide than it is tall. I'm used to a 5 millimeter dot grid or a 5 millimeter grid. So scaling that back a little bit, I'm a little nervous about, but I've used a planner. My Nuna planner had a 3 millimeter dot grid or something like insane. So I know that this is like a happy medium, and so far with setting this thing up, the grid size has not been an issue. So very happy about that because that is a slight change. The cover is a soft cover in a beautiful sage color. I also went ahead and added some tabs, and these are from the Travelers Company 2024 sticker kit. And so I just thought that these green tabs match so well. This planner is a Monday start. It has 520 pages. And as I mentioned before, it is a 52 GSM Tumbler River paper, which for my fountain pens, perfect. And for these other markers that I use a lot in bullet journaling, these markers work really well and look really nice on this paper. We have the Zebra Mild Liners, the Staedtler Dual Brush markers, the Archer and Olive Calligraphs, the Crayola Colors of the World, Tombow Dual Brush pen and marker. And then I also did some testing down here for the Archer and Olive Acrylograph, some watercolor, some fountain pen ink swatching, and then a stamp. And if we look on this side, yes, there's gonna be some ghosting because the GSM is 58, 52, and so I definitely expect some ghosting, but that's kind of the charm of the Tumbler River paper, that little bit of ghosting and that crinkly sound and feel. Once you start using it, it always feels a little lived in. But what I haven't done a lot on Tumbler River paper is watercoloring. and using other markers and other supplies. So it was very nice to see. The watercolor looks great. The acrylograph looks great. Nothing bled through, nothing shows through terribly on this other side. So that makes me even more excited. So before we get into my spreads for 2024, I did want to talk a little bit quickly about why I chose this planner and why I decided to sort of pivot from bullet journaling as my main planner. So number one, I think I've mentioned this before in a few other videos. The fountain pen writing experience on this paper is just so magical. And I love the way inks look. Like, look at my ink journal. This is a Hobonichi Day Free, and it's the same type of paper, but here's that crinkliness too that I was talking about. I love it. But you can just see the properties of the ink so well, and they just go on so smooth. And there is just something special about this paper and writing with fountain pens on this paper, and I needed it in my life every day. And so along with that, I also wanted to simplify planning, save a little bit of time, and use deco time for doodling and drawing and painting versus drawing a ton of grids and calendars and just some of those boring things, in my opinion, to make. Honestly, that was taking so much time in the bullet journaling process, and I felt like I was doing the same things every month, where I was like, well, there's got to be something out there where I can save time. So that was a reason why I started looking elsewhere. And then also in 2023, I was using a B6 journal, and I was super excited about having all that space, but I didn't take it anywhere. And when I did take it somewhere, it was sort of a hassle. So that's why I decided on a B6 size, because it's sort of that perfect size where I have plenty of room to write and stretch out, but it's still pretty portable. All right, so let's take a look at the spreads. I'm not sure what I want to do about this page yet. The first couple of pages, as in most journals, are a little awkward. So here's my awkward page. It's just my nameplate page, and I added in this little green sticker that again just matches this perfectly. And this is a sticker I got with the Yoseka stationery order. And then I just have my typical key here. Not so much to refer to now, but years down the line when I don't know what everything means and I want to look back and see what I was doing, I have a reference here for the key. And this is my yearly cover page for this year. I loved working on this so much, and everything, I just want to say, everything took so little time compared to the hours I would spend on a new bullet journal setup. I just want to throw it out there. It was amazing, and I still am in love with this. So another thing I really loved about working on this spread was using the Tombow Fudonosuke. It just was gliding on this paper. And I've been having a little thing for yellow lately, so I wanted to let yellow have its moment for the yearly spreads here. And this I drew out. This is the Nike of Samothrace. It is in Paris, France, in the Louvre. And I got to see this, and I am still very stoked that I got to see this in real life. And I don't know, there's just something so powerful, so feminine about this statue, and it's just one of my favorites. So I thought it was a perfect kind of contrast. This has a very modern, very like new feel, and then this has, you know, that old world kind of vibe. So love this. And then the quote is, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." And a fun addition was this lined paper, and this was just to add a little more color and a little more texture. Okay, next up is the birthdays spread. Pretty self-explanatory here. We have what is called the yearly overview in this planner, and it's set up like a future log, but I know for me that I need more space per month for a future log, but I thought that this would be perfect for birthdays because typically in my future log, the birthdays take up a nice chunk of space. So here I'm just clearing that out by using another spread for the birthdays. And I still had room for a little bit of decoration with washi tape, and I've been having fun with this just kind of freestyle bubbly block lettering. And I do have a tab here so that I can quickly reference the future log and the birthdays here. So yeah, flipping over, this is what I'm using for my future log and for my period tracker. The original layout of this spread did not have these calendars here. These are actually my mini calendar stickers that I have in the Etsy shop. I have the Monday start this year and with or without the headers, so definitely check those out. But this did not have those in there. Obviously, it was just a blank area up top, and they're separated out by quarter. So for this, I am going to use this main area as my future log, marking meetings and events and any travel that happens not in the current month. So in the future, while I'm notating those, I'm going to be ignoring the dates that run up and down here. Instead, those dates are going to be my period tracker, where I just mark when those days are. And then what I've been doing last year, or this year, technically in 2023, what I've been doing is marking when my period should come on. That way I can prepare if I know I'm not going to be home or if I'm going to be out and about. I can kind of guess when that's going to happen. And then I also mark when it actually is happening. So I thought this would be a good place to notate that and not have a whole extra spread just for some dots and highlights. The next spread looks exactly the same. We're just working in quarter 3 and then quarter 4. Flipping over, I have 3 more sections here. The first one is my admin checklist, and this is a reusable checklist that I use every Monday for work tasks. So sending overdue invoices and clearing out my downloads folder and doing tax stuff. All of those tasks go here, and then I use my reusable marker to mark those things off. And then whenever I'm done, I can just erase. If that happened to blow your mind, I have 2 videos on reusable spreads, and I'll leave those linked for you down below. But they're a super easy way to be efficient with your pages and not have to rewrite checklists. I only need to write it once, which I have not done yet. This next section is just a checklist for tasks that I want to do at some point. So they're not necessarily things that need to get done in a specific week or specific month. They're just things that I want to get around to that I may forget. So I usually put those things in their own kind of separate list. And then on this side, this whole page, just about, if you can see that glare, is reusable. So in 2023, I did really like having the whiteboard next to the admin checklist because I am usually working with numbers or quick notes. And so here I can write in some quick notes about admin things, and I don't need to keep them, and it's not that deep or anything like that. So we can just erase those. Okay, and then we're hopping into December actually. And so since this planner starts in December, my plan was to just forward fill, backfill something. I am using my bullet journal this month, but I am migrating tasks and events, not really tasks, just events and meetings and things like that in this calendar, just so once 2024 starts and I might need to reference when something happens, I just have that information here. And I'm not decorating it at all. I am on purpose just doing black and white, so it's like the gray of 2023, and then we're going to get into the color of 2024. So this will start my January cover, but I did want to show you guys the layout for the monthly and the weekly sections, just so you can get an idea of how similar this is going to be to the bullet journaling that I was doing, but just with a planner vibe. I just feel like I'm straddling these two worlds, and it's kind of exciting. So let's say that we're looking at January. This first spread is going to be the January cover spread. So, you know, January, maybe a little quote here. And then you flip over to the monthly calendar. And if you've been watching those monthly plan-in chats, then you know that I've been trying to keep this page relatively simple. I've only been doing a little bit of decoration on the side or under it, so this is perfect for that. There's still plenty of room to make things cute in here. And then you flip over to a blank spread, and this could be, you know, my dashboard. I can put habit trackers in here. I can check back in with my yearly focuses and see how that's going. I can have notes. So whatever those like dashboard sections are, I feel like they can fit in this space and still change from month to month based on what I need. And then you guessed it, the next spread is the weekly spread. And it looks exactly like, you know, events and meetings over here, my master task list, and then I have pages for dailies. So I have lots of room to stretch out here. I think there's 6 pages before it goes. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pages. So that's plenty. I can even put in meeting notes. So if I see that there's a meeting this week, maybe I can find those meeting notes in this week. I'll just have to see how much space I use for tasks on average, and then kind of decide how much space I have to play around with. Maybe even do a little memory keeping in here. That could be fun. And then it goes to the next week. Same story here. So I just think it's going to be very similar to bullet journaling in the way that the spreads are not only set up, but the way that they're in order. They go by time, and it doesn't have all the monthlies jammed to the front and all the weeklies jammed together. I like how it just makes sense for me, having the month, the week, the month, the week, etc. Okay, after all of the months, we have 2 index pages, so an index spread, and then just some blank grid pages back here. And so what I'm doing, I have a planner index, which is basically my 2024 journal and planner lineup. Also have a video up about all the other planners that I'm using and journals that I'm using as well. I'll link that up there for you, but I have the planner index over on this side, and then the index for whatever these pages end up being. I will put an index for those on that side because these pages back here are numbered. So that's really helpful. I also have a tab on this page too, so I can get back here quickly. And then, as I showed you earlier, I have the planner specs and pen samples over here. So again, this too is like bullet journaling, where I have extra space and just this blank free area to create other collections or other notes, just like whatever I want. So I really am excited about this, and I think it's gonna be great. Let me know what you guys think of this change. What will be helpful to see from me, whether you bujo or if you're in this planner or another planner, what would be helpful to see from me in this planner? Let me know in the comments. Think about it for a sec. But of course, I want to thank you guys for watching. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I'm going to leave that video for you where I go through all the other planners and journals that I'm using this year. And I'll leave that for you right here, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.